Scooty from the speaker. Make sure your phones is on vibrate or silent. Well, sharp. All right. Let's clap it up. Y'all, but some time about the thumb. Y'all, some time about some. Y'all say. All right. Any questions? If not, let's check online. Let me know if anything's online. All right. Any questions in the room? Let me know. Tonight we're gonna go into a little bit of temptation. All right. You get some scriptures on temptation. All right. Why? Because this is a time. This is a season where there's ample opportunity for temptation. Do me a favor. Move the sister's chairs back about a half block. Just a half block is a little bit too much in the walkway. All right. It's a half block back. All right. So what? All right. First, give me James 1. First, what is temptation? What is it?
I would say like the urge to commit sin.
All right. Anybody else?
Lust.
Okay.
Lust to fulfill what your skin wants.
Okay. Okay.
So you said, what is temptation?
Mm-hmm.
The temptation is being seduced and getting urged to sin against the Lord.
Okay. Seduce, the urge, lust. Anybody else?
Brother online says strong desire.
Strong desire. Not yet, because strong desire could just be lust.
Right.
And lust is not necessarily an evil thing.
Right.
You had to have a woman, you had to have a lust. You had to have some strong desire for her.
Right.
For a woman to have a man, she had to have lust. She had to have a strong desire for him.
Right.
So I wouldn't say just end all and be all a strong desire.
I would say something outside of you coercing you to think that something is very, very good when most likely it's not.
Okay. That's definitely closer to it. Okay, sin, you could take it as it's an opportunity, right? Regardless of how strong the urge is or how strong your desire is. Sin, temptation is an opportunity to sin or an opportunity to go against what you know you shouldn't do, right? What you already know for sure is this is left all the time, but now there's an opportunity to go right. All right. It's really an opportunity. That's what temptation is. It's an opportunity to go the other way. All right. In all things, that's really the end all and be all. Now, opportunity, give me that. Give me what opportunity is. All right. If anybody have any questions, just type them on online. Raise your hand. You know, we right in between the bridge to Satan. You know, Christmas and then New Year's. It's hard to survive during this week here if you're in the world. It's a hard week to survive. You're drunk the whole week. You're half broke. You know what I mean? You're going through it up and down, yet you're still telling yourself it's the happiest time of the year. You're on the bridge to Satan. You're halfway there. Go ahead.
Opportunity is now a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something.
A set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. Now, that should clear it up for you a whole lot. Right? Now, opportunity is a set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. Temptation is a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something that you would not normally do, or sin, or break your code, or break your morals, or go against the rules that's established. It's a set of opportunities. Now, just break down the whole analysis of that for me. A set of opportunities that make it possible for you to do something.
When you say break it down, sir, what do you mean, sir?
Meaning, like, how would it look to me?
A chain of events that can show, that is showing you that this thing is good when you know that.
That's right. No, you don't necessarily know that it's not. That's the thing. You find that out after. You find it out after the fact that this was not the wise thing to do. That this was not smart at all. This was not, but at the time, the series of events, the circumstances that made it possible to the average brother or sister, what does it look like? See, this happened. It must want me to do this because this is what I need to do. And you reason with your head now. You reason your next action, which really it is. You just been tempted. You just been, you've been pulled off your zone. Right? You've been, how Jake said, you've been tricked out of your position. You get the point? So give me James 1 and 12. Let's start with that. All right.
Come. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Say it again.
Come. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
All right. Go ahead.
For when he is tired, he shall receive the crown of life.
Now, yeah, read that last part one more time.
For when he is tried, he will receive the crown of life.
All right. Break it down.
So when you endure, you strive through the opportunity to do something that might not have been good for you, and you've been tried with it, and you go through it. Like you didn't commit a sin, and you most likely you were tried it and you endured it. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't fall for the temptation. So
you didn't. Don't just say fall for the temptation, because remember, it's a series of events. To the average Joe, it doesn't seem like it's temptation. Get the point? Like you a brother, some broad who marry coming with her tail, that's obvious temptation to you, right? Obvious. Another scenario is get something with events that just lead. It just seems so absolutely right. Come on, bring it.
If I may, sir, I remember being in the world, and usually I was young, and I remember I used to go to this cat to go get high, and I ain't had no car, and I remember I was walking, going to get high, and I seen somebody I knew from school, and they was like, "Hey, where you at? You need a ride?" I was like, "Look at God."
Look at God.
Look at God. I was like, "Actually, I do need a ride."
Yep.
And in my mind, I was like, "See,
that's everything fall into. That's more it.
Right.
No, if this is what you want, you're not looking at this as I need to say no.
Right.
The walking was supposed to make you be like, what?
It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Think if you had to walk 2 miles to class every day, would you be here every day? Don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself. You wasn't gonna be here every day. You did. Yes, you did. I heard you. They didn't, but I did, and I'm saying it for everybody to hear. Don't lie to yourself. Right? It's the walking is more difficult. The walking is going to stop you. You get the point? It is going to stop you. Now you decide you're going to walk. Now you have to get another test, and that test is way easier than the walking.
Right.
That's the game. That's the opportunity. That's the series of events that make it seem like, well, it's not flat out. You get the point? It's not a flat out thing, but it's something where it's like, well, this happened. Man, I know I ain't gonna pass up on this, seeing this. Right. You get the point? You're gonna jump on the what? Opportunity. Right. Don't think of it like, somebody, hey, you like Sesame Street, hey, you want some weed? Right. And they open the damn case for you. You want to see this M? Right. It's not like that. Don't think like that. This is a legitimate, series or sequence of events that come together. The people in the world have something where they say the stars align. Yeah, all the stars align. All the gods is blessing me. When this is really you being tempted, and you don't know you're being tempted because you're simple, right? Give me the meaning of endure, real quick. Give me the meaning of endure.
Endure. Suffer something painful or difficult patiently. Mm-hmm. Remain in existence to last.
That's it. That first one is the most common one. Okay. To suffer something. That one is not. For me with teaching, that's not the best one to explain it, because it would mean that the temptation is making you suffer. Right. Sometimes it does not make you suffer. Sometimes it makes sense. Right. You understand? Sometimes it makes perfect sense. Why the hell wouldn't I do this? Right. It makes sense. That's perfect. What are you talking about? This is easy. Right. There's nothing to endure in there. There's nothing to, when I say endure in this context, there's nothing to suffer. And what is it?
It's like, I got another definition, sir.
No, that first one.
Oh, God. Endure, suffer something painful or difficult patiently.
Right. With the opportunity where everything line up, there's nothing to suffer painful in that. The things line up. Right. In fact, if you not doing it is painful. Right. You get the point? You not taking this opportunity is more painful to you. Right? Give me the other meaning.
Endure, to continue to exist in the same state or condition.
Say it one more time.
To continue to exist in the same state or condition.
That's it. That's what you really want to internalize with endure. Right. What's another word that you could use to describe that context of endure? To continue to stay in the same state or condition. Persist is another word that's UPK.
Maintain.
It's another word that's I think that's in there. There's another word that's UPK.
Be consistent.
All those you're on point. That's not the word I'm looking for, though. No?
Stay.
Discipline.
Right.
That's discipline. To continue as you are, the same state and condition. You know how much discipline it took for y'all to be able to rock one of these covers today?
Right.
You understand? You know how old this is?
Right.
The same style, the shield, it never changed. You know how much discipline that took when it was so easy to just drop what we were doing and make little changes.
Yep.
You know how much discipline it took to just sit there and let everything else change around you. But you are not doing it when it would make sense to change.
Right.
It would make sense because now we are like a rough stone in this world that cuts everybody's foot who steps in our path. Like a rough stone that everybody just wants what? If you have a driveway or a walkway outside your house, and then there's this rough stone in the middle of it. What will you want to do to that stone? Because you always stub your toe, you always, hurt your foot on it. What would you want to do to that stone? You want to get rid of it. You want to cut it down, smoothen it out, so that you could walk normally. But that stone is there to show you how soft you are. You understand? That's what that stone is, the UPK, and that's how we are in this world. This school is a thorn in this world side, and it wasn't always a thorn. This school at one time would have been those are the men. Even today, halfway the reception is them is the men of the Lord. Those brothers, they're hardcore, but by and large, we are a problem to everybody who sees us and hears us, because we have not changed with this world. We have resisted the temptation. We have endured the test of time. With all the technology, with all the different, advancements that happen in the earth, we have remained one West ISUPK, which is a huge feat, because the opportunity, the series of circumstances to now go to the left or the right is extremely great. You hear it all the time. You don't got to be so loud. What you're saying is the truth, but you could say it better. You could. Why you all had to dress like that? If you all dress a little bit so and so, more people would listen. Maybe we don't need more people to listen. You understand? Maybe we don't need it. And that's the series of. Now that's on a big scale. On a smaller scale, individually, personally, you're going to find things in your personal life as you move around that are going to seem normal and right, and 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2, brother. 1 + 1 sometimes it's just 1 + 1. You ever shut that? There's no other answer. That's just 1 + 1. You get the point? So to endure really is not so much suffering something difficult or painful, but enduring is to remain in the same state or condition, to remain disciplined, unwavered, unmoved throughout everything. You get the point? It's a certain amount of discipline you're not born with. You have to be trained into it. You have to go through stuff to get into that, state of mind. But at the end of it, you're going to be a better person for it. Why? Because you're not going to be able to be moved easily. You understand? You're not going to be able to be moved easily, which is what you need, especially in this time. All right? Give me where you reading, brother. Yeah. Read 12 again. I think you have one more line in 12.
Take from the top.
Yeah, if you want to.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
Go ahead.
Which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
Right, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. What is that last line saying?
That the Lord promised to those who hold his law, statutes, and commandments.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Right.
Those who keep the law, statutes, and commandments, because why? This world thing, love is what? Feeling, emotion, some sort of, lovey-dovey, something. and it doesn't require them to do anything,
Right.
to do some sort of action. You get the point?
Come.
He's saying here, you continue keeping these laws despite everything that happened. You have a crown at the end of this.
Right.
And you can apply that all the way through. The UPK is just one example, is the main example of it, which is why we're so successful and always a cut above everybody else, even by quote unquote competitors, which are not really competitors.
Right.
But just for the sake of describing it, those who want to be like us and think they could do a better job if they change, if they really, what they did was they fell to temptation.
Right.
All your Christian church, your Muslim mosque, your fake Israelite groups, they all fell to temptation because you don't have to do it this way. You understand?
Right.
I could do it a better way. Look what I can do here and there. But yet still, when it comes down to, names, the UPK is the first always, because it hasn't changed.
Right.
There's no change. It was absolute and enduring. All right. Give me verse 13.
Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
All right. What's that saying? Read one more time.
Come. Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
All right.
So not the full breakdown, but a question to that. Could you use the precept that would pretty much erase that concept that God is the one that's tempting you? Because I forget the precept, but that says that in any temptation, the Lord give you a way out. So if he's in this temptation, that you getting from it, if the Lord is the one that he giving you a way out of that temptation, then surely it's not him that's giving you that temptation.
I wouldn't use that, because who put us in slavery?
We did.
No, the Lord put us in slavery. Slavery was a punishment. We did not punish ourselves. The Lord put us in slavery. Who's taking us out of slavery?
The Lord.
Exactly. If we put ourselves in slavery, who's taking us out of slavery? Yeah, I wouldn't use that one for that. I definitely would not use that one for that. I would use that one for the straight up, be disciplined. Like a father.
Right.
You want your father to stop wailing on you. Do what the hell he asks you to do.
Yep.
That's it. You want him to stop looking at you all weird and funny and being rough. Do what he wants.
Right.
You go to a slavery and you do it. You don't try to, finesse the slave.
Right.
You go and you do it. You conform there. This is maintain the same discipline.
Right.
That's what I would use that one for, that to back up the discipline. Not so much to say the Lord is not tempting you. You understand? The Lord, this one is suffice. The Lord is not tempting you. But if you use that one, the argument could be, well, listen, the Lord put us in slavery, which he did. He said, I will send you into a land which your forefathers did not know.
Right.
He did that. So now somebody can say, well, the Lord put us in slavery. What do you mean the Lord don't tempt? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, in that context, if somebody did say that slavery being a punishment, is a punishment and temptation the same thing? Because if somebody said that, I would have responded saying, well, that's not temptation, that's a punishment. That's two different things. I would have said.
I know what we're talking about.
But now we're going on to talking about.
Now we boxing outside the ring, right?
Right, it's not on that.
So we staying right here. You understand what I'm saying? Like what you want to do is, if you're in a battle, and this is for anybody, you don't want to give them an opportunity to go somewhere. You're not resisting the temptation. Right here is where we at. I'm staying right here in this verse right here. That's it. I'm staying right here. You said this. This is what this means? No, this is not what this means. Right here. You start going out. Now you open the door for them to go out too. So if you pull in another precept, it's going to have to be for right here, not to go somewhere else. You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't use it. You could use it if you want to. I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that one for that. I would say right here. This is good enough. The Lord don't tempt nobody. He's not tempted, and neither will he tempt you. He's not providing an opportunity for you to do evil. I'll stay right here with that. That's enough.
Right.
Go ahead.
So just on what you just said on keeping the battle right there. I remember in the world, we used to say, we used to go back and forth just in the world. We like, niggas would say anything to get out the corner. And like even when you just was battling in the world, you just knew to keep them right there in the corner. Like you said something, now you got to stand on that.
Yeah, and you definitely always want to see down the line if you're going to pull a precept.
Right.
You got to know some precepts, you got to pull it and read just the one line, because the rest of the paragraph goes somewhere else. It goes into something else, or it gives them an opportunity to go somewhere else. Right. The scriptures say precept on precept, line on line. You're not doing anything wrong by reading one line. Right. But if this is not enough, if you're pulling something else, it can't be like they have a leg to stand on. The next precept had to be something they can't respond to. Right. You get the point? I wouldn't use that one. Right? But for sure you can. You might could handle that thing. 13.
Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
All right. What's that saying?
It's like I think you said it when you were just describing it. The Lord doesn't give you an opportunity to do evil.
What does he give you an opportunity to do?
To endure the temptation.
When you say endure, what do you mean?
He gives you opportunity to be glorious.
No.
It's going up with what Chappelle was saying as far as endure. He give you opportunity to endure. Like he give you opportunity to fight.
Fight is good. There's another word we just went over it. He gives you opportunity. Go ahead.
To resist, to maintain your
discipline. To be disciplined.
Right.
That's it. He gives you opportunities to be disciplined.
Right.
Why he's giving you opportunity to be disciplined?
You said why, sir?
Why is he giving you an opportunity to be disciplined, or opportunities to be disciplined?
Because he's a good father.
That's true. But okay, you being disciplined does nothing for him.
Right. So
why is he giving you an opportunity or opportunities to be disciplined?
To make sure you're worth the promise that he gave.
That's the end all and be all of it. But to even get the promise, maybe I'm wording it wrong. Maybe I'm wording the question wrong. You get more discipline with each opportunity. Discipline is a muscle you have to exercise. It's a muscle. It's just like if you're lifting weights. If you're lifting weights, for you to get stronger, what must you do?
Continue to lift.
And add more weight. So when you get opportunities, the opportunities is not to make you sin.
Right.
It's to make you get more discipline. Right. It's to make you get stronger. You understand? Now, to somebody who, as you said, will not fight, that opportunity is what to them?
Opportunity to sin.
It's the opportunity to sin. You get the point? Just think like if you're working out, you're lifting weights. Right. One brother, this is an opportunity to get stronger. Another brother, that's it. You get the point? That does nothing for the father. That doesn't add anything to him. This is for you. You get the point? This is for you. And there's an opportunity. Why? Because it's not going to present itself as something painful all the time. It might present itself as something different, something nice and adds up and makes perfect sense. And then after, now you realize, I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
All right, keep reading.
But every man is tempted, verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his, when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Say it again.
when he is drawn away of his own lust.
This is why I tell you, stay right here. You don't have to go nowhere else. Saying it right here. Right there. You're staying right there with it. You have to go nowhere else and break nothing down. How is every man tempted? Of his own. Of his own. Of his own what? Lust. And then you go into whoever you're battling, what they're like. You could look at them half the time and see the lust. You understand? You could see what they're into, and you battle that, and that's why they're battling you on temptation, because they really want to go this way. They don't want to be strong against the weed, strong against the whores, strong against Christmas. They really want to go this other way. You get the point? Give me Revelations 3 and 10.
Also, too, we had a question online, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The sister, Sia Fred, she said, "Why I can't find all of these named kings in the Bible and history books?"
I don't know which history books you're looking at, and I don't know which kings you're asking for. All right. I don't know which history books you're looking at, sis, and I have no idea which kings you are asking for. All right. Where we at?
Revelations chapter 3, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
I'll read it again.
Come. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience,
Mm-hmm.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
What does that mean? For guy boy.
Christ is speaking right now.
All right.
He said, because he's speaking to the Israelites,
Mm-hmm.
saying, you have kept the word of my patience, meaning you don't have to do anything. I told you something, and you are patient. You are taking your time for it to come to fruition.
I wouldn't with it like that. I wouldn't with it. It's one word. Because you have kept the word, because you have been disciplined. Because since Christ left, there's holes on your phone. You can just type in booty, whatever, OnlyFans, whatever, left cheek, right cheek.com. You understand? It's at your fingertips. The gas man and gas is at your fingertips. The lean is right here. Everything is right here. Fingertips. You don't have to walk. You don't have to drive. You don't have to even have it come to you. It's right here. A lot of things have changed since then. We haven't. You get the point? We haven't. You hear them demons coming up and confessing it at camp. You all them same fools I used to see in Harlem, New York. The same saying the same bullshit. This is 20, 30 years later. Come by the camp and say it. This person wasn't in Harlem, New York in 69, but that demon in them was there. Right. And that demon comes straight up and be like, you all still around? Because why? He's working hard to give you an opportunity to do what? To change. You get my point? And okay, and the reason I'm saying sin is because the change comes before the sin. You understand? Them purple sodomites, they didn't start off talking multiple no multiple wives and all the nonsense they're doing now. The GMS, they didn't start off doing that stuff. You get the point? They start off with one little thing. You're gonna just change it. Let's just change it a little bit. This requires too much discipline. You know how much discipline it takes for you to even dress the way you dress? It takes a lot of discipline to dress the way you dress. It takes a lot. The average person don't want to do that. You get the point? And that's something simple as your dress code. What you eat takes a whole lot of discipline. It takes discipline to want to read a label and check this shit out and go ask somebody, hey, y'all fried pork back there? Same stove? Nah, we good. And go drive half hour. Could you imagine taking some broad in the world on a date like that? She'll be like, "Yeah, drop me here. My stomach hurts," and I call Rashid because Rashid gonna eat that shit. This thing takes a whole lot different amount of discipline, but it's so easy just to change it to make your life easier.
Right.
To make your life easier, and once your life starts getting easier, then the sin comes in.
Right.
Don't think this is you walk out the door and you start getting high. That's not how that is.
Right.
This is, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna start my own Israelite group. Yeah, let's just wait till everybody get live and watching into this and talking something else, and you changing one little thing, and before long, you know, you on a rape charge.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
If I may, sir, it starts when Commander Yahanna suggests that you get the vaccine, and you say, "Well, you know, I usually rock with the general, but
That's it. Yeah, I say nothing
Right,
more.
right.
As soon as they say, "Man, you're right about everything," but
right,
that's it.
gotcha,
You're right. You're so right about that damn vaccine shit.
gotcha.
God damn. I damn near want to go in your wallet and see your card and kick you all out.
Yep.
But I'll be changing shit. So I'm resisting the temptation. Give me a hand. So thank you. Now, I ain't too sure the way all this shit flaring up. Nigga, where your card?
Right, God.
Who gave you this card? Where you get this card at? Right? Read it again from the top, verse 10.
Come on, counsel. Verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Because you've been disciplined,
Right.
he will also keep you from the hour of temptation.
Right.
Meaning what? He gonna equip you enough to be strong enough to deal with that.
Oh, God.
All your chastising and check-ins and hard things you're going through is for a purpose.
Right.
It's for a purpose. Y'all seen it was last year, I think, when they did the test in Atlanta when they stopped the food stamps card.
Yep. God.
Right? You don't know about that. They did a whole test arc. It wasn't an accident, it was on purpose. They stopped everybody's EBT. People went crazy. They just did it for like 2 days or something like that. Just to see. Well, soon that shit gonna stop for real. And everybody gonna be right here. Well, you know, you officer so-and-so, what to do? And all your training will be for that point.
Right.
And you'll either fail or pass.
Right.
You'll either, you know, take charge or be consumed. But you're going to have to maintain your discipline to even get to that point.
Right.
To even get to that point, it requires a whole ton of discipline. And discipline means you stay in, what's the word for the definition? Not discipline, endure. That context of endure.
To continue to exist in the same state or condition.
To continue to exist in the same state or condition. That's perfection right there.
Right.
That's perfect. That's in the Bible.
Right.
The Lord say, I am the same today, yesterday, today, and forever. Them Christians love to quote it,
right.
But they don't continue in the same state or condition.
Right.
They don't do it. You get the point? Whoever was reading Revelation, let's go.
Verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them.
To do what?
To try them.
To do what?
To try them that dwell upon the earth.
All right. The purpose of temptation is to try you.
Right.
It's to see if you're weak or you're strong. If you're going to pass or if you're going to fail. If you can handle the weight or you need to get your weight up.
Right.
The purpose of the trial is not to make you just go choose something totally different, which is to sin.
Right.
You get the point? And this thing is coming on all the world. You get the point? Okay. It's coming to Israel. It's probably done here already, done starting. Right? Discipline. Maintaining that discipline. Let's keep going.
Verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
Read it again.
Come. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
What does that mean?
Stay disciplined and hold tight what you were taught to be disciplined, so that you can keep your crown.
Hold fast. That fast is a old word meaning to like to secure, nail together, put to the wall, bring it together. Hold fast, meaning you're not letting go of this thing. You are maintaining your discipline all the way through. And that's what it really boils down to. It boils down to discipline. It boils down to integrity. And without it, over time, you're going to separate. You're going to start to separate, just like a tire. A tire could start to unravel just a little bit. And over miles, it just starts separate until it totally thread out on the highway. You get the point? It didn't maintain. You understand? Let's keep going.
Come. Verse 12. Him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God.
Say it again.
Him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God.
What does that mean? Go ahead.
The man that has discipline, he will be a man of high stature. He will be
Yo, one brother say glory, next brother say high stature. Stop aiming for the high, dog. The work is on the ground. The work is on the ground, dog.
In the kingdom of God, when Christ is ruling, and when it says I make a pillar, is the pillar like metaphor, like saying you're one of the leaders that's established underneath Christ's rulership in the temple of my God? Would that be in his kingdom? I wouldn't describe it as leader. What is a pillar in a building?
Structural support.
That does what?
That maintains the integrity of the building.
It holds the building up.
Right.
Does that pillar ever move? Even if they're refurbishing the building, certain pillars don't get moved.
Right.
The Lord say, if you maintain this discipline, you're going to be a pillar in my house, meaning you are not going to be moved from here. It didn't say nothing about leadership or height or rank, nothing like that. It just said you cemented in this thing now because you've been so disciplined. Right. Discipline goes a long way into maintaining your reputation as well. Break it down. Who understands it? What you need, brother?
It's not in the cups.
Might be on the counter.
No, I got you. 2 more. 8 more cups. I thought it was.
Okay. Damn, I don't forget the question. You're throwing me off of the cups. It's a lock it.
It was some regarding discipline,
reputation, sir.
Oh, discipline goes a long way into maintaining your reputation. How? Break it down for me.
Your reputation comes from like your integrity, and your discipline upholds your integrity. Your
discipline as it relates to enduring is what? Maintaining the same state or condition over time. How does that carry to your reputation?
Shows what type of man you are.
Okay, that's true too. But for the purpose of reputation, it's more this. Come on.
If I may, sir, it shows you're consistent, you're reliable, and that you operate at a standard that you won't compromise.
And this is what it really is with reputation. Reputation is really someone's expectation.
Right.
And if you meet the expectation, if you don't meet the expectation, then what do? You disappoint.
Right.
Or somebody might regret. For instance, if I pay $300 for these shoes, I do not expect them to unstick in a year. You understand? Because these shoes is Nike or Adidas or Louis Vuitton or one of them old fancy names that I can't pronounce. You get the point? If I'm paying $500 for them, they should not unstick, right? Because this is a reputable brand. I don't need to know where it was made. This has this name on it. It's done. It's sold. I could give you my money for this thing here. Because why? It's going to maintain its condition or state of being throughout. Right? That's where it comes from. Your discipline, your level of discipline, it goes a long way for your reputation, because now I can close my eyes and expect you to do what you say you're going to do. I can close my eyes and expect you to be where you should be. I don't have to worry. In other words, you could be a CEO of a business, and then your son is coming up and you training him to run the business. You could go to your grave and not even worry about it because his discipline over the years. Now you could pass this on to him and he ain't going to change it. Right. He ain't going to do something different with your vision. Right. You get the point? Right. Which is the essence of the whole Bible. Right. Like, at one time, our laws wasn't written. Right? Yep. What am I talking about?
Everything prior to Moses.
Everything prior to Moses. From Adam all the way down. This was more oral. So now, you know how hard it is to keep discipline when you're just telling a story? Right. They do it in classes with them tests all the time. Tell somebody a secret here, go to the end of the damn line and hear a totally different thing that they said first. Because along the line, there's discipline to keep. The fifth dude don't give a damn about the story. He thinking about bills. The next person don't give a damn about it. She pregnant. By the time it reached down to the end, it's whatever. It's whatever. You get the point? You're gonna have to maintain that discipline. And why am I saying it? Not just because of the time we're in, but the time we're going into. The time we're going into is going to be tried and tested. And you better pass the test, man. You better pass the test. All right, read it one more time.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 12. Him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Mm-hmm. And he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God.
Inside, he shall go no more out. What does that mean?
He has a steady place where his discipline won't allow him to be tempted.
No. The temptation is always there. Mm-hmm. It's always there. Just think like a tire. Could the tire ever say, well, I'll never meet rocks on the road? The road is always there. It's whatever he keeps. Meaning, okay, him will go out no more is more what I was saying before. This is not about, he's not saying leadership or rank. You have a permanent place here because you've been so permanent in the past. You get the point? Because you've been so reliable, so dependable in the past. You have a permanent seat here. You ain't going out no more. There's no more of that. You here. Come on.
That's saying you earned your spot.
You earn your spot. Like a team. A nigga who's showing up every day to practice. Then there's a nigga who's showing up and unlocking the field, bringing the ball out and the cones. He's staying back and carrying that every single time. Then does the coach ever have to wonder if the practice will go on? Nah. What usually end up happening? He become the captain or co-coach or some old dumb shit because he's so always there. He's always doing this thing. You don't even have to worry about him, right? That's more what it's saying. Like, this person is sewn into the fabric of it. It's there. You understand? Well,
and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God. Mm-hmm. And the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
What are we talking about? Because I'm going to get a little bit. What's up about here, sir? What are we talking about then? You know which one, right?
Yep.
The black one, you said. Read one more time, man.
Verse 12, him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God,
Mm-hmm.
and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God,
Mm-hmm.
and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
So what are we talking about? Oh, so what? Let's see. Go ahead.
And this will be after World War III, after Yahushua punishes them. The kingdom is down on earth, and yeah, the last part I just don't understand the my new name concept.
Okay, you'll get it. Hold on. Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, sir, is this saying that in the New Jerusalem, which is the kingdom, Christ's kingdom, you are going to be the Lord's representative in this kingdom, meaning how we are now, but we're going to be the.
I'll tell all of y'all where you're getting tripped up at.
Like, saying like when he's saying the name, like the reputation of the Lord, I put the reputation of the Lord on him.
No, the first name is the actual name of the Lord. Because right now, who are the Lord's people on the earth? Right now, you go anywhere and ask, who's God's people? Who's that?
Jewish man.
The Jewish man.
Right.
So in that day, his name would be on us.
Right.
Them niggas is his people.
Right.
You get the point?
Okay.
The last name is the reputation.
Right.
Right? When he'll give you a new name.
Right.
Because what's our name now?
Right.
Thug.
Right.
Criminal. Shady. Whatever. Vagabond.
Right.
But in that day, you can't touch them people.
Right.
That's the prince of the power.
Okay.
You get the point?
Okay.
Okay. Where you're getting tripped up at, even though I just said in that day and everything like that, this is happening now. Because you have a new name now. You have a whole new reputation right now.
Right.
You get the point? Because people will be like, man, I know you. And you had to correct their ass and tell them real quick, no, nigga, you knew me.
Right.
You don't know me right now. You get the point? Isn't this the place? Isn't this the kingdom right here? Wherever the UPK is at, isn't this the place where judgment happens? You get the point? Like, this is happening now. It hasn't finished happening, but it's happening right now. It's starting. It's already going. You understand, Pagai boy? So that's where you probably was getting tripped up at. You looking at it more so, okay, this is one specific time or interval of an event that happens in the future. That's not how it is. This is happening now. It's stretched out. It's a whole thing. This is like the beginning of a movie. You get the point? It's the whole thing. Right? Read it one more time again.
Verse 12. Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. And I will write upon him my new name.
Right, you get it? So now him that overcometh, meaning you continue maintaining your discipline, you're going to have that place with the Lord. Right? You're going to have that place in the Lord's kingdom. You're going to be a pillar in the Lord's kingdom.
Right.
Unmovable. You will go no more out. There's no going out. There's no falling out the truth. There's no falling out the faith. There's no being in discipline.
Right.
Because why? It's not magic. It's not, some, super spiritual, something that comes down upon you. You've trained for this. You've trained for this. You have running backs who train all day to run to the quarterback and then peel off, whether they have the ball or not. You could almost know they're going to do the same thing all the time. He's a pillar. You get the point? Like, because you've trained for it so much. You don't exercise so much discipline. It's a no-brainer. You're going to have to be here. You get the point? It's not magic. It's never something magical, which is what the Christians think, which is why they don't have discipline, because they go and they pray, Lord, just make me have discipline one time. Increase my discipline. Shower over me. They don't understand. You have to practice that. And you could practice it by stop eating that pork in the fridge. You understand? You could practice it by stop having sex with that brother's woman for them Christian preachers. You get the point? You could practice it. You could start practicing doing the right thing because it's right to do. And keep your discipline. And over time, you're going to be something to behold because you're so disciplined. You understand? You ever talk to police officers who are not disciplined?
Yeah.
What starts happening in the conversation? If you observe it. I'll tell you. They start making shit up. Right? Straight through. What happened? Well, I'm going to need this. Well, I can't give you that, officer. You don't need that. Yeah, you do need. And they start making shit up because they don't have discipline. Off the break, when they come to you, they're indisciplined in how they speak to you. You get the point? And it just goes downhill from there. And you so disciplined, you're not overreacting, you're not underreacting. You just here to in this moment right now to do what you've been trained to do. And that's that. You're just a stone. You're free of emotion, free of, no, F that. You're free of all of that shit. So, okay, what you say your name was again? What's your badge number? Okay, right. And what precinct? Who's your sergeant? And the whole conversation changed right there. He start calling you sir, and he start recanting shit that he done said before, right? But I'm just giving you one example. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that's something people could understand. They could visualize because they've seen it. But just imagine you would lead your whole life just disciplined. Ultimately disciplined. You'd be a whole different creature. The good news is you still could be a whole different creature. You're not dead yet. The book of Ecclesiastes said a living dog is better than a dead lion, which is towards your glory point. Right. This is not about glory. This is not about none of that. This is about being disciplined, being stoned, brother. And I'm not talking stone in like the heathens are stoned where they have zero compassion or they don't feel for their people. That's part of your discipline. I'm talking about discipline in that you can be counted in this moment to do what you're supposed to do. That's the level of discipline. You get me? Right. Give me verse 13.
Come. Verse 13. Him that hath an ear.
He
that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Right. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. Because of course here, if you understand what was going on here in these first few chapters of Revelation, Christ is checking the angels over the school. You understand? He's checking the angels over the school. The angels over the schools is going to in turn check the men who are in charge over the schools, and it's going to roll down. And he's saying, who have an ear, let him hear. Why is he saying that? Who have an ear, let him hear.
Whatever the brothers received the correction.
Mm-hmm.
Like meaning whoever's wise enough to receive the correction.
Wise? That would imply you have to have wisdom to do this job.
Right.
A donkey could do this job. Right. No disrespect to any officer in here.
Right.
But if the donkey goes left when I say go left and go right when I say go right, he can do this job.
Right.
This is not about wisdom.
Right. Whoever's disciplined enough to hear this correction. Discipline
again. Everything boils right back to discipline. Everything, it always comes right back to discipline. That's it. Christ had to have discipline. Why? What was his opportunity to go to the left? Forgot one.
When he had the dream.
We're talking
about? When Satan tempted him. When he was on the cliff.
When he went to fast. Right? That's one. There's a better one. Come on.
When they came to arrest him, and Peter had cut the ear off of the guard.
It makes sense.
Right.
Peter is his bodyguard.
Right.
His right-hand man. His right-hand man was doing his job to protect him. Christ could have just said, not today. I ain't going down today. I'll stay in one more day. Right?
Yeah.
It would have made, he said, get behind thee, Satan.
Right.
You understand? It's a certain level of discipline you had to have because the opportunity is going to make sense. The first set of opportunities did not make sense. Throw yourself down, call on the Lord's, on your Father's legion of angels. That shit didn't make no sense because he's already above that. Satan had to try him there first to see where he's at. Then he brought Peter to do his job. You understand?
Yep.
You could be doing your good damn job. And still, that's an opportunity for you to go to the left. Get the point?
Okay.
Where we at now? 3 and 13? Give me Hebrews 12 and 1. I think that's what I want next.
Counsel. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Hold on now. That's a whole lot you said right there. Say it one more time.
Okay. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Verse 2.
Who wants it now? Give me verse 1 alone for now. Who wants it? It's a little bit rough in him.
All right, so like it's people around to notice if they break discipline, and he's saying let's just be patient and stay disciplined and do what we've done, and you know, even though the sin is heavy around us, the temptation is heavy around us, we just gonna stay disciplined, because if we don't, then people will see us break discipline, and they, you know, they'll stumble themselves.
It don't say nothing about them stumbling. Stay right in the verse. Read it one more time.
Come.
Don't let your mind go nowhere. Stay right here in the verse.
Come. Verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
All right. What you saying? I mean,
I think the first line is saying that you have eyes on you. The compass is being surrounded of a cloud of witnesses, that a lot of people. So you have a lot of people watching you with what you're doing. Let us lay aside every weight.
Let us lay aside every weight.
Every weight. That's to fight the temptations. To have having discipline to fight the discipline. I mean to fight the temptations. And the sin which doth so easily beset us, to fight the sin too. That's all around. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us. We have the law, statutes, and commandments. We'll follow these law, statutes, and commandments, and we'll have the patience of the saints so we can get the kingdom.
Okay, you take me somewhere there. I start believing for a second what you were saying, and I forget they ain't saying nothing about the kingdom in there. They ain't saying nothing about the patience of the saints either. You just told me a whole story. God damn. Okay. He's saying, since there's a cloud of witnesses, it's not just people that are witnesses. The Bible says your face, your countenance beareth witness. You understand? Don't think it's just people. It doesn't have to be people. And there's straight up spiritual men in here, brother. A man could just look at you and just already know what the hell going on. You get the point? I've done experienced this shit. Don't think you need somebody to come tell him what you're going through. That don't need to happen.
Right.
Seeing that, lay aside the weight. What is weight? What is in this context? Yes and no. Because it's not only sin.
The troubles that you're going through every day.
Some trouble that you're going through, some burden, some strife, something that's weighing you down. It's called weight. Something that's not letting you stand. Something that's weighing you down. You have to lay aside that and sin. You get the point? And sin. You have to lay aside that weight and sin. Sometimes the weight is the sin. Sometimes that's the burden. A lot of times that's not it. It's just this is the weight you're carrying. And you had to lay that off. You carrying it is not helping you. You think it's helping you, but it's not. You get the point? Where we at? Verse 1? Read that again from the top.
I don't count this. Verse 1.
1 second.
No, that was a question. In the lay aside part, you said lay it off. Could you expound on it when it says lay aside every weight?
Lay aside every weight. Give me an example of a weight.
I don't know. Let's just say like bills.
Bills. How would bill? Now everybody has bills. How would bills become a weight to you?
Not having enough for the bills. To pay the bills.
Not having enough for the bills, right? So you don't have enough. Now, did you always not have enough?
No.
Exactly, because you couldn't even get a bill without not having enough, right? When you go to sign up for the bill, they ask you for your income.
Right.
So somewhere along the line, your income started doing what?
Decline.
No, that's not what happens in life.
Going somewhere else.
Your income is going somewhere else. So what you now have to do is, hey, Silak is having a hard time here. These bills is kicking my ass. Now I used to be paying them, but I fell behind. Well, brother, what's going on? Okay, spell it out for me. And you get on the phone and you write the shit out, and you get to see all where your money's going. And a brother will tell you, if I was you, brother, I would let that thing go. I would stop doing this. I would do this like once a month because it's costing you $45 each time. You know what I mean? I don't want to just take away your leisure or whatever it is. But, you know, that's 45 by 4. That's over $160. Take 45, save the next 130. Put it towards your bills. Have some discipline. Yeah, you want to spend the money. Okay. Money going everywhere else. Before the bill man don't get his money, the tithes man don't get his money. It's just the problem starts with the tithes. Usually, if you keep up with the tithes, the bills don't be a problem. Because the same fat you have to trim for the tithes is the same fat you trim for the bills. Right. How you lay aside the weight? Get counsel. That's it. In that situation, you would get counsel. There might be other weights you have to lay aside. You get the point? Just get counsel. Get counsel on how to move forward with this situation. Right. Why you get counsel on how to move forward with this situation? I'll give it to you because you're not going to get, because the men you get counsel from have been here through discipline and have been through what you have already been through. Right. Have seen it, done it, experienced it, went through it and learned the hard way. You don't have to learn the hard way, but of course, everybody has a choice. You could choose the long lesson. Right. You good?
Couple.
No sweat.
Cool.
All right. Let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Break that part down. Come on.
I was saying before, sir, the Most High God gave us the law, statutes, and commandments to follow so that we could get the kingdom. So if we follow the race that we are running is to get the kingdom, correct?
Right.
Right. So by following the law, statutes, and commandments, and having the patience of the saints, the Israelites, that is set before us because it's in the book. So we just have to have the discipline and follow his word.
That's it. You see, a whole lot is really just, again, the discipline. The race you're running is not to finish first. The race is running is what? Scripture. The race you're running is what? It's a straight up scripture for it. It's not to finish first, but he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Endure, from what we just read in the definition, is maintaining the same state or condition as being disciplined till the end. That's the race you run. The patience here is discipline because you want to do something else, but you're being patient. You're waiting. You're waiting. You're being disciplined. You're being disciplined until that time comes, right? And then when that time comes, guess what? Guess what's your prize? To be more disciplined. Because now you're going to be in charge. Now you're going to have ultimate power. And you're going to have to be disciplined. All them fools talking about, yeah, we're going to kill the white man. Nigga, you kill one of my slaves, I'm going to have you in court.
Right.
I pay good money for them bastards, and I need my shit built.
Right.
I need my cotton picked. Now, after I do whatever I had to do, then we can talk about it. But you right now want to run up on some cop and blow his brains out. Listen, man, let that cop let him do his job, man, because I want him as a slave in the kingdom.
Right.
You get the point? I want him there as a slave. You don't have the discipline for that. You don't have it. So you lose patience in the race. You can't run the race the right way.
Right.
Right? You got something? Give me verse 2.
Come. Verse 2. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God.
Read it one more time.
Come. Verse 2. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God.
What are we talking about? Come on, Shapat.
We're talking about the from verse 1, when we talk about running the race and setting aside the weight and besides the sin. This is the example of what Christ had to go through the same thing. This is his example of it. His example of what? Of the race he had to run and what he had to do. Of being disciplined. That's it. Like everybody look at what he did and be like, he's the one. Even Kanye West said, man, it's like being Jesus. You can't be Jesus. You can't be perfect. You don't want to be disciplined. You don't want to have discipline. It's easier to live a life without discipline. If anybody has young children, ask them to sit in the chair and see how they cannot just sit in the chair. Just can't. Sit in that chair, don't move. Soon as you move, start bouncing and sit there, okay? Soon as you move, they start doing it. They can't do it. And it's a good exercise for them to start to willingly control themselves. Right. And then now some people don't grow to have that discipline, and you have grown adults, not being able to control yourself. Right. Not being able to stay on your own body. You're into what? What you feel to do in this moment. Right. What you feel, just like the child. You get the point? Right.
his discipline here, that's what his glory. That took a tremendous amount of discipline with every opportunity he had to not go through with it. With every opportunity he had to just be like, all right, that's that, I'm gone. That took some discipline out.
Right.
You could give up weed.
Right.
You could give up them whores.
Right.
You understand? You don't have to be a slut on OnlyFans.
Right.
You could have some discipline.
Right.
It's not going to cost you your life like how it cost Christ.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I may, sir, is that why it says Christ is the author and the finisher of our faith?
Yep. Well, of course, this too is talking about with Adam, because he was Adam. You remember, he said, I'm the first and the last Adam. He's the author and the finisher because he came, he did it, he completed it. He showed you how to have discipline to the end.
Right.
He showed you how to endure until the end, until it was done. That's why he said it is finished.
Right.
Now we just had to follow through.
Right.
Follow suit.
Right.
Come in here and change your life and be disciplined until somebody putting Frank on your forehead and laying you down in a damn hole singing, we want no cowards in our camp.
Right.
You know what I mean? So till that point, till the end, or if Christ come before, whichever one.
Right.
But till the end, you're going to have to be like, I'm fastened to this thing.
Right.
I'm nailed to this thing. And I'm keeping discipline, even if this thing requires me not to do something I didn't really want to do. Right. I don't feel like doing that. Or, man, I don't think what that breakdown is right. What do you care? Right. What does that matter to you? Right. You know what I mean? When you was coming to class, all jammed up, you didn't question the breakdowns then, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? When you were sitting in class just gazing, really crying internally because of all the bullshit you're going through, you wasn't questioning the breakdowns then. Right. Now that we done clean you up, now you could question breakdowns. Maybe you just need to be dirty again. Maybe you just need to have ashes all over you again where you don't see shit, right. So you don't question shit, right. And that's that. Right. Maintain your discipline. Isaiah 53:3. If there's any questions online, let me know, all right? The person with the kings in the history books never come back.
She talking about some other issues.
Is she in the school?
Nah.
Okay, let me ask her. Is it a sister?
Yeah, okay, it has a sister's picture. Okay, she said Irish history dates back to the 1st century. Mm-hmm. Why Irish history don't mention none of the men in the Bible?
Because Irish history is not biblical history. That's simple, right? What's her name?
Sia Fred.
Sia Fred?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sia Fred. Do you know your father? You have a picture of your father? You ever met him? Let me know. Type that in for me, all right? What?
Isaiah 53:3.
Please.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 3. He is despised and rejected of men.
He's what?
He is despised and rejected of men.
Mm-hmm.
A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
God damn, that's a rough one, boy. You better mark this. You young brother better mark this one here. You better mark this one here and understand what this is talking about. Give me from verse 1.
Verse 1. Who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, mm-hmm. and as a root out of a dry ground. Mm-hmm. He hath no form nor comeliness. Mm-hmm. And when we shall see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him. Mm-hmm. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not.
Okay, what are we talking about?
So like this is talking about Christ.
Okay.
Breaking down from verse 1, right? I know you asked for 3, but breaking down from 1, right?
Yeah, you read 1, right? Yeah, I read that.
Like the sister online says, no, she never met her father.
You never met your father? So how come? Okay, you ain't met your father. So nowhere in your history is your father's name and his picture? How come we can't find that? I already knew this. I just didn't want to say it up front. So like, I need to have some more discipline. I should have said it up front. The Irish have the history of their fathers. Where's yours? Please type in. Go ahead, bro.
Read it again.
No, break it down. I don't know what you're trying.
Can we read it again?
Saved by the Bell, boy. Go ahead, Ak. Read it again. Go ahead, read it again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 1. Who hath believed our reports?
Mm-hmm.
And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness. And when we shall see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Okay.
What's the question?
Break it down.
Counsel, he's asking who believed the prophets
Mm-hmm.
and who has the power of the Most High. Who is the Most High knowing?
Who believe our report? Meaning, who believe what the prophet said? Right? What's the other one say?
And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
Right? And to whom is the power of the Lord revealed? The arm of the Lord is the power of the Lord. It's power. Right? Go ahead.
For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness. And when we shall see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him.
Anybody? Shabbat?
Before that, before he, so before the time of this, he, you didn't expect nothing of him. He didn't have the law, statutes, and commandments with him. You know what I'm saying? So
So you're saying he sinned? If he didn't have the law, then he didn't know the law, then he sinned. That's what you're saying?
It's sad, but like before, like when we come in here, how we started off, before we became more disciplined and learned of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Before we believe the report and all that. It's described, that's what it's describing right here. No?
It's like, if I may, sir, it's describing how Christ was a plain man in looks and the things that he suffered and how,
Let's give me the first part first, before he gets away he suffered. God damn, I keep losing where we at.
God, so he's speaking about he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground, meaning just like the scripture says, what good can come out of
Nazareth.
Christ grew up in the ghettos the same way we grew up in the ghettos, and from the same way the world doesn't expect us to amount to anything, that was the same expectation for Christ, being a black man coming from where he's coming from. And then it says he have no form.
Not a black man, being the king of Israel.
Right.
That's what's the amazing thing here.
Right.
From dry ground where nothing grows.
Right.
This young man who is the king of Israel grew out of this dry ground as a young tender plant. Tender meaning it's full of life, right? Green. You get the point? Supple, if you're ever into plants, when they healthy, you could have a little bend to them, young, the good plant.
Right.
But this plant come from dry ground, not ground that's filled with nutrients and that good black soil with a little fertilizer in it. The plant didn't come from that.
Right.
This plant came from nothing. Right, go ahead.
He had no form, no comeliness.
Mm-hmm.
So meaning he wasn't something that you would. He was an average looking man. Like he wasn't something.
He wasn't amazing to look at.
Right.
Because why? When you say, hey, he's a king, what does Israel think in their mind?
Some brother that's tall.
They think LeBron James.
Yeah,
they think King James.
right.
You get the point? They think King James. You understand? But he was. Hold on. What does it say?
He had no form, no comeliness.
No form or comeliness, meaning there was nothing that stood out about him, which is why the centurion not the centurion, which is why Judas had to go salute him. The Bible say kiss him, but it's the salute. Right. The Yabashun Shabakathan do the hug one side, for the centurions to even know who he was, because he was not standing out. He wasn't somebody you could look in the crowd and be like, yeah, the tallest one, that's him. Well, that wasn't him. Right. He did not have a reputation based on his physical appearance. His reputation was his works. You get the point? Right. He was nothing to look at. Go ahead.
And when we shall see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him.
That's how Israel is. You get the point? That's how Israel is. Why? Because we are more carnal than anything as a people. When we see him, there's nothing that would make us stop following the Pharisees and follow him. When we see him, there's nothing that will make us leave the Christian church and follow them. What? Them crazy niggas on the corner? I'm supposed to go follow them and that yell on them? Ask your rib. I'm sure he just beats you. That's what they say. As if them bros in the church ain't getting beat. Evander Holyfield beat his woman after she gave the preacher all the damn money and let the lights get turned off in the mansion. You get the point? But this is who we are. This is who we follow after. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 3. Verse 3. Mm-hmm. He is despised and rejected of men. Mm-hmm. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
Mm-hmm.
Right here saying Christ was a brother that he wasn't. Just like how you said, him being the king of Israel, he wasn't received as the king of Israel. He was received. He was rejected.
Right.
He was despised. And, yes, like it. And then the next part where it says, we hid as our faces from him. We didn't really have no regard for him. Like now, like that, there go that nigga again talking like the same way the world looks at us on the corners.
Exactly.
They see us, and a lot of people literally will turn their heads or turn their children's faces from us and to not look at us like, oh, there them niggas go again. Them ugly niggas on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
And he's a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
Right.
What does that mean?
Meaning he felt the same way we feel living in oppression.
That's it. He knows, he understands what you're dealing with.
Right.
Right. He's acquainted with grief because he comes out to the same ground you come out of.
Right.
He comes out of the same ground that I come out of. Right. He's a man of sorrows and well acquainted with grief. Right. But he was also a man of tremendous discipline. Right. What's your excuse? Right. Why you can't do it? Right. Why you can't maintain? Why you can't handle the stress? Right. Why you can't carry a little burden? You get the point? Like he was the same as you. Yep. You ain't standing out? Right. Nowhere. Right. Where are you standing out? You mean to tell me the Messianic slavery? No? They don't care. No. He's the same, and he was disciplined unto his death. What's your excuse? Right. What's your excuse for not, celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and your birthday and Valentine's Day and 4th of July and everything else? What's your excuse? Right. Like you think, okay, of course, now things get a little rough. That means you have to now lose your discipline. You don't have an excuse to lose your discipline. Right. And if you do lose your discipline, it says a whole lot about you. Right. You understand? It says a whole lot about who you are. All right. Give me John 15 and 20. Where Irish girl? She come back here?
Yeah, she said I have a stepfather, and then she said, I'm reading all history of war, looking for these men of the Bible.
Well, you should go read some history on your father first. You're trying to find somebody else, daddy. Go find yours. You understand? Go find yours. Why are you not finding the history on your father? On your daddy?
She said, everything is there, but the names. I'm deep into this history. And she said, Mother Teresa took care of lepers in India. And then she said, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay, I'm starting to believe you're a heathen or your stepfather is a heathen.
Right.
All right? This is what you need to understand. You're going outside the Bible for everything that's in the Bible. You get the point? You're going outside the Bible for everything that's in that. Mother Teresa is not in the Bible,
right,
but she is in history books. Which one is more important? What's in the history books or what's in the Bible? Go find your daddy before you find King Hezekiah. Go find him and make sure you come to class and show me his birth certificate, where he was born, what he grew up doing. And if you can't find your daddy, then we have something to talk about more. Because I see where you're going. This is what she's doing. She's slighting with her question. This is a slight on the Bible. This is not a genuine question. Over time, you brothers going to start to be able to pick out slights from the words from their mouth. She's trying to say, why can't I find the history of these kings in historical books that are written in the Bible to say that the history books are right and the Bible is a fairy tale? That's why these names are not there. That's what she's really trying to say. Well, she's a fairy tale because she don't even know who her daddy is. She can't find her own father. Now, does that make her illegitimate? Does that mean she's a fairy tale? Isn't she a real life person? Well, then the Bible is real then. Because if I have to accept your bastard behind and don't got no daddy, you can't question me because you have poor research skills to find King Hezekiah or King Josiah in a history book. You can't do that. Find your daddy first, then come talk to me. Right? Give me the other one I wanted. John 15 and 20.
John chapter 15, verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord.
Say it again.
The servant is not greater than his Lord.
Read it from the top.
Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord.
Mm-hmm.
If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are we saying?
It's like, if I may, sir, it's maybe I might be reaching to say, but it's damn near like a checking or a cut. It's like, how arrogant would you be to think that you won't experience what our master went through, what our Lord, our King suffered? Like, if our King suffered these things, surely being a servant of Christ, you are going to suffer the exact same things.
And if you ain't suffering the same things, then
you're not following Christ.
You're not following Christ.
Right.
Which is why they change.
Right.
Which is why they decide to create something new so that they don't suffer these things anymore. Right. They make their life more comfortable. Right. Come on, hey, let me hear it.
So like, she said, I want to know. She said, God is my father. Then she said, okay, sir.
Go find your daddy, nigga. Go find your pappy. All right. Go to ancestry.com, DNA 23, whatever. Go find them on match.com. I don't give a damn. But before you come and ask me about the kings of the Bible, go find your daddy. Right. Maybe you'd realize you don't have none. That's why you're doing. Give me excess genealogies. Is that what I want? I'm gonna keep the discipline. I ain't gonna even fuck with that. Let's go on. John 15 and 20.
Come. John chapter 15, verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
Right, read it one more time.
Come. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord.
Mm-hmm.
If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
You understand? That's how you know. That's how you know.
Right.
Say, if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
Right.
He's talking to his men.
Right.
You understand? He's letting them know this is what you can't change from this thing going down. You're gonna have to keep that discipline. Salakia, give me 1 Timothy 1:4. Salakia.
Oh, come.
The scripture says, "Suffer not a bitch." Excuse me. Give me 1 Timothy 1:4.
Come.
Nice and loud.
1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies,
Mm-hmm.
which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do.
Right? That's what she not understanding. Whoever that fool is, right? Who wants to get, the kings in the history books. Now, the kings are in the history books. She just have poor research skills. All right? There's history books about our king, right? Where they call him a dangerous and fanatical revolutionary. The history books do record these brothers. But now let's say you find them in the history books, then what? Guess what's the next thing she's going to look for if she find them in the history books?
She's going to try to find something to negate it.
Mm-mm. When people do American history and they, look for the presidents in the history books and the generals and stuff, what do they look for after?
Something to downplay it.
Well, that's what she's doing here.
Maybe what they did.
Well, that's the history is going to be there, what they did. But what do you look for next? After you find them in some Encyclopedia Britannica in the back of the library, what do you look for next? This is what people like this do. They look for their offspring and try to trace it up. That's really where this is going. This goes here to, let's see who this is and come either trace it back or trace it up. Really, she's essentially looking for her father, but looking in there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, really, she wants to trace this up. Okay, if this king, then this king. The history books is a record all the way up. It's not just for that time. You understand? It's not for this. You look at history of England or Netherlands or France or the kings, they tell you who their children are all the way up. And you study it, you could find the lineage. She wants to find the lineage. That's really what she wants to find, because she doesn't have a father to tell her stop indulging in bullshit. And that's what you need a father for as a young girl. As a woman, you need a father to tell you stop, focus, be more disciplined. There's more things to worry about than the historical reference of kings in the Bible. There's way more things to worry about, to research, to devote your energy to, but you don't have a father to tell you be more disciplined. Right. Go find your daddy, Gil. All right? Where we at now? Give me Matthew 13, 1 through 9. Hold on, man, not time for that. Let's start it, all right? Matthew 13.
Come. Matthew chapter 13, verse 1. The same day went Jesus out of the house and sat by the seaside. Verse 2. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat. And the whole multitude stood on the shore. Verse 3. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. Verse 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. Verse 6. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Verse 8. But other fell unto good ground and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Verse 9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear.
All right. Who want to give it a shot? Shapat?
So it's like the work. So you
Okay, I had to break it down.
Concert.
Break me down.
Let's use the school for an example. Like the work, you have some that come in and you know they leave the school. You know, that would be the that would be the ones who that sprung up, but then they got scorched. Then you know you got some that fell in the thorns. They sprung up and the thorns choked them. I'm just using both of those as ones that didn't last. But then you had some that fell on good and brought forth good fruit. They not only came up right, they also brought other brothers up right behind them. And some more than others. Some did more work than others.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll take that to start. Anybody else?
This is so, like I said, this is given what happens, the different situations that happens to brothers that come into the truth, and
brothers and sisters.
And sisters, right? Come. And it says, some fell upon stony places, and they are where it's not much earth, meaning the brothers and sisters that come in here and are not rooted, meaning they're here just for a time, and anything can happen, and you know they just leave. They leave the school because they weren't really in here. They weren't rooted.
Okay.
And then the some that fell among the thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Those are the brothers and sisters that come in here, and the pressures, the weight of life causes them not to grow, and it causes them to leave the truth.
Okay.
And then there's those that fell into the good ground and brought forth their fruit, which would be the brothers and sisters who maintain their discipline.
Okay.
In the face of the opportunity of temptation.
All right. Anybody else? Try it. Anything different? You sure? All right. So what's the stony ground?
The world, the world, the earth, or not the earth, but the world, society of what's going on. The stone.
Okay. So then what's the good ground?
The good ground would be the truth, the laws.
So then what's the seed? What's the seeds?
The seeds would be the different nations, but the ones that fell by the wayside would be Israelites.
I would say all three different grounds are discipline. The stony ground would be total lack of discipline. The thorns will you're lukewarm, but the good ground you're fully disciplined deep down into it.
So that's one way to look at it. There's one way, not really, but that's one way.
The seeds would be the brothers or the sisters.
No.
The seed is the truth.
Seed is the truth. That's what's being planted.
Right.
Seed can be the brothers or the sisters because the seed doesn't leave.
Right.
The seed doesn't change. It's just the seed.
Right.
The stony ground is
Hard place.
hard place.
Right.
So what is the stony ground? Yes. What is the thorns? Or the place where the thorns grow, I should say.
So, can you repeat what you said with the stony ground was?
He said it's us.
Oh,
meaning, remember, you're planting the seed here, there, and everywhere. That stony ground is that hard place, representative of that burden you can't let go, the traumas. Remember, Moses said, for the hardness of your heart, he gave you the bill of divorce.
Right.
This thing, that hard heart that cannot change. It received the truth. Christ is black.
Right.
But what my mama and papa did me, you know, they was wrong. That woman who left, she was wrong. That man who left, he was wrong. Can't see my kids. Your heart is hard. You harden. You can't receive it. That ground is hard. You get the point? Then that other ground that's consumed with thorns. What is the thorns?
Tribulation.
Give me some more. Sis? Kinda. Not really. Kinda. A little bit more specific. The thorns. Come on. You answer it.
Temptations.
Give me 1 Corinthians 12 and 7.
It's a lucky type of question. In verse 5, it says, some fell upon stony places.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, where they had not much earth.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get, what is that saying pretty much?
Okay, the earth is where it would absorb. The stony places can't absorb. So some things I fuck with y'all with. But I don't know shit y'all talking. You get the point? It's the stony ground where it's like this can't receive nothing. You know what happens to with somebody who done been exposed to the truth before and come in here and think they know because they done been exposed to it before. But they're not receiving what's coming off. That they'll only receive what they think they don't know. Some breakdown they never got, some scripture they never knew. But everything else, they take it from wherever they learned from. You get the point? It's like that. It's like whatever's coming off is bouncing off. They're not coming empty. They're not coming like I'm literally coming from the church. Like when you come out from the church or the mosque or the streets or whatever, you're really like, man, I really don't know shit. But you come from some internet flybynight.org, you think you know something. So of course, you full of precepts and this, that, the other. You're not really receiving the thing. You're not absorbing the thing. You get the point? It's like that. Some is ground, but some is stone. Right. So only a little bit, or it could only have growth here. Right. But over here, there's no growth. Go ahead. Lucky. Where are you? Yeah, please.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. Verse 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like it's 2 Corinthians 12 and 7. My fault, brother. I apologize.
Come. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
All right. What's that talking about? Young man, what's that talking about? Read it one more time, nice and loud.
Come. Verse 7. Unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure.
Like it, sir. And this is Christ knowing that that he knows his position, but he knows as his cardinal flesh, that temptation is going to come. So he just held discipline when Satan.
You answered it halfway. Shabbat. And asking for money, Shabbat answer like I asking for some money. He's like, I don't got it. I ain't got it. Yeah, check you tomorrow, man. I ain't got it, dog. Forgot boy.
Because this word lest always gets me. I gotta look it up. It's for fear that.
Mm-hmm.
For fear that I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. In fear that he will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Proven right by all of the revealings.
What are we talking about? Which verse you talking
about? Verse 7?
Fear?
The word lest. I got the definition.
Okay.
For fear that. That's what lest means.
For fear that? Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, I get you now. Slack, you threw me off there. Go ahead. No sweat.
He's saying that he's going to be proven right from all of the evidence that came out, the abundance of the revelations. They were given to him a thorn in the flesh.
No. No. Go ahead. Suck it, bro. I'm coming to you.
Okay, what? Where it says, unless I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations. This is Paul, right? So, through the abundance of the revelations part, what it is that Paul's like stature. Paul's stature, what he knows, what's to come, what it is that he's been taught, what it is he was raised on, or what it is he was taught. Where it says, lest I should be exalted above measure, meaning because what he knows, the ones that he's teaching, the ones that's underneath him, or just everyone, starts to, now they're starting to, the thorn, he does not want to be seen as greater than what it is than what he's teaching.
That's the thorn?
The thorn is the that could be Satan trying to come.
Okay. Okay, now, sis.
So wasn't it at a time they were praising Paul?
At the time, people still praise Paul today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to remember it. They were like praising him like some type of idol or something.
He was okay. Go ahead. So
if that was the case, maybe that's in reference to, that whatever he was dealing with, this was put on him so that, he wouldn't get caught up into how people were looking at him and staying humble.
I'll take that for a little bit.
So like, sir, is this saying in order for Paul not to get puffed up with the knowledge that he has, the Lord gave him a
that's why you had to stop.
Counsel.
Not the Lord, because the Lord don't.
Right. There's this thing that he struggles with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a temptation that he constantly has. That's a thorn inside to keep him humble, to make sure that he doesn't think himself to be more than what he is.
That he doesn't start to believe his own hype.
Right.
What is the thorn?
Temptation. It's not temptation.
Which means what? What was Paul's thorn?
You never say so.
Why?
Because it doesn't matter.
It does matter. Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Paul's thorn was the not
You know what I mean? It's still like, you can give me 10 minutes, I'll finish the class. I appreciate that. You'll be up for about an hour or two again in case you have any changes to make. That'll work. I'll check it in a little bit, all right? Yeah, go ahead.
Like Paul's thorn was to not be prideful.
You asked why doesn't it say what that thorn was?
Mm-hmm. It don't say what the thorn was. It say he had a thorn in his flesh.
Because he fought. He maintained his discipline.
He fought it. He maintained his discipline. But why does it not say what his thorn was?
Because we all got thorns.
We all got thorns. And what you're dealing with is different from what I'm dealing with. What's the moral of the story? Be disciplined. Fight that thorn. And even though Paul had a thorn, he did what? The abundance of revelation. Meaning he went everywhere and revealed to people what? Scripture. Romans 11 and 1. Quickly. Real quick.
The book of Romans chapter 11 verse 1. I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
For I also am an Israelite,
Mm-hmm.
of the seed of Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
of the tribe of Benjamin.
Go ahead.
God hath not cast away his people,
He revealed to God's people that God did not throw away his people. Go ahead.
which he foreknew.
Which he knew before time. Go ahead. Before this time that we in now, the Lord knew all of us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Paul went and revealed that to them all. Why? Because they was cast off for centuries. Right? Go ahead.
What ye not, what the scripture saith of Elias,
Mm-hmm.
how he maketh intercession to God against Israel.
Right. Give me the part where he said, I magnify my office. I'm the apostle to the Gentiles. 11 and 11, 11 and 10, somewhere around there. You see it?
Not yet, sir.
Go ahead.
Romans chapter 12, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch.
So what? Wrong chapter, bro. So okay, go ahead.
Come.
Mm-hmm.
For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
I magnify mine office.
It's in 11 too, Barack. It's in 13. 11 and 13. You in 12 and 13 or 11 and 13?
11 and 13.
Okay, so like,
Oh,
it's in 11 13, yeah. Right? I speak to you Gentiles in as much as I'm the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. That's the abundance of his revelation. He did a lot of work. But in all that work and all that praise he was starting to receive, he had this thorn that he had to be disciplined about. And him having to be disciplined about that thing made him realize, I ain't all that shit they talking about. Because if they only knew, I was just like them, just fighting harder. That's it. It's nothing to start getting puffed up about and start thinking you better or you there. You're not really there. You just you're not having a bad day at the office today. You fight it. The rest of them need to learn discipline. You get the point? Now, Paul, he had the thorn, but he received the truth and produced abundantly and did things, multiplied. Right. But in the parable, there was thorns there. And that was the excuse to be a traitor. Right. That was the excuse to be weak and indisciplined. Because there were some thorns there. You just don't understand. I can't give up this weed. You just don't understand. Oh, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how you could just give up. That's beyond me. I don't know. That's probably I need counsel on that, because like I Salakia. My book, once a traitor, always a traitor. Salakia. Yeah, man. That's but that's that's just me. Right? Maybe I need some counsel on it. But I don't understand how you don't swing, how you don't fight, how you don't try. You don't try, your own self try. You don't have discipline. You're just lacking the discipline. And above that, you lack love. You lack love for the people who done fought and staying and waiting on you to cross and come to this side. You don't give a damn about them people. All you concerned with is this thorn. And you got depressed And that's where you get depression from and the suicides, because all you're concerned with is this thorn. You're not concerned with anything else.
Right.
You get the point? Now let's go back. Come on.
It's like saying what you're saying is so heavy, and it's proof that we lived the lives of these prophets before us. Because I remember early on in the truth, and every now and then, sometimes you can get too caught up in your own mind and your own thorns, and what will happen is you'll start to lose focus on what you really here to do. And that's why Jeremiah Muhammad said the way you fight your own, save your life, is by saving other people's lives. And it's like the more you focus, the more you have love for your people, you realize I can't afford to not fight this storm.
Because this nigga depending on me.
Exactly. There's too many people
depending on me. I have stuff to do. I have shit to do. I can't let this thing take me out. What the hell he gonna do? What the hell she gonna do?
Exactly.
You understand? But you don't fasten yourself to the truth. You don't fasten yourself to the brotherhood. So of course your problems is a nuclear disaster.
Right.
We all gotta stop for that shit.
Right.
You get the point? Let me get back where we at.
We was at
Matthew
13 and
give me from the stony ground.
Verse 5, Matthew chapter 13, verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth.
You understand? That's the stony. Give me the thorns. You get the point with the stony, right? The earth wasn't deep enough. They're just too hard-hearted. Just they can't fully absorb it. They hear it. They can't fully get with it. They can't fully get with it. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But
right, and the some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. What is them thorns? Them temptations, them things you're struggling with. Whether it's something sinful or something in the faith, something spiritual.
Right.
You struggling with. You can't get with this shit. It might be too militant. And you just I ain't want to say Christian, but you get the point. Right? You're just a little bit too light in the boots. You're struggling with that thing, but you don't fight to become militant.
Right.
You fight for your right to be light in the boots. And before long, you go create an organization where you all could be light in the boots, and you call them the IUIC. You get the point? You create something where you can dwell, where your spirit dwells, not the Lord's spirit.
Right.
You get the point? You shouldn't have a spirit because your old man is dead.
Right.
You don't have a spirit.
Right.
This body is brand new, being molded to do something somebody else wants.
Right.
You're not in the truth. Right? Where we at?
that was verse 7.
Keep going.
Verse 8. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold.
So you see, the ground is the people. That's where it is.
Right.
He's sowing it in this ground. The ground is the people.
Right.
And this good ground, there was no thorns or there was no stones there. In other words, there was a lot of discipline to overcome that thing.
Right.
You get the point? That good ground is the ground where there was discipline. Because even in good ground, seeds could die.
Right.
You get the point? There's still discipline needed there. The farmer had to come out and water it, not water it too much. Make sure it get enough sun. You know what I mean? Check it, make sure ain't no worms down there. Make sure no parasites coming up. You still have to have some discipline there. But that thing gonna bring forth fruit. That good thing is gonna bring forth fruit, which is what? Free of the hardness of the heart, free of all them thorns that you think is an excuse. That's full of discipline.
Right.
It's full of discipline. That's the only way to bring something forward. A nigga who, he in the gym all the time, he got discipline. 5 o'clock every morning, whether it's snow, rain, whatever, he in there running and working out, and he is disciplined.
Right.
That's the only way to bring forth fruit. Without it, brother, you can't have nothing. Nothing grows haphazardly. You have to have a certain discipline with everything. Anything you want to be good at, you're going to have so much discipline for it. And discipline requires you doing things that many times you do not want to do. You understand? That you absolutely do not want to do. All right, go ahead.
Come. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who have ears to hear, let him hear.
Right, and this ground gonna bring forth good fruit. You know what I mean? Good fruit. Right? Some different abundance of it, but it's still yielding. Don't look at the abundance.
Right.
Why? And I need the scripture.
Because the Lord gave us each.
Oh boy.
certain
Boy. The Lord give the increase.
Right.
The scripture say one man planted, another man watereth, but the Lord gives the increase. But a carnal man would do what? What is it?
That's an account.
Meaning what?
Rely on numbers.
He would look at the increase
Right.
and start losing
Faith.
discipline.
Right.
The Lord give the increase.
Right.
What matters is that you bringing forth fruit.
Right.
That you that good ground that receiving the truth.
Right.
That's the end all and be all of this. To receive the truth, brother. That good, you're gonna bring forth the fruit regardless, because it's the Lord that bring it forth. It's nothing you did. The Lord is bringing forth the truth. You get the point?
Right.
Give me this here to close. Give me 1 Corinthians 3 and 19, 10 and 13. That's the one. Oh, James. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. No, give me James 1 and 2 first, then 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, then we done.
James 1 and 2.
Yeah, please, quickly.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations.
Diverse, not diverse.
Salaki.
Diverse
temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing this, that Salaki, verse 3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
You understand? Knowing this, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, meaning you're going to have hard things you're going to have to deal with, brother. You're going to have things that you have to deal with that's going to tempt you to do something totally outside. Totally just not what you would do. Knowing that the what?
That the trying of your faith.
That the trying of your faith is what?
Works patience.
Works discipline. Works discipline. It tries your faith. It's a test. It's going to test you. And it could work your discipline.
Right.
If you see it.
Right.
If you don't see it, then you just, you're going to be a victim.
Right.
Come on.
It's like I said, it's like any good athlete that loves their craft. You always looking for an opportunity to see how good you are and to increase and to it's like a boxer, a good boxer. It's like you don't want to fight somebody that's the battles that don't mean anything, or to not have
unless you're Jake Paul.
Right.
Unless you're that cracker.
Right. But a boxer that loves their craft and their profession.
You want to come up against the best. You want to test your skill.
Right.
You want to see where you at.
Right.
Exactly. I'm going to try your strength. Right. I'm going to try your discipline. Count it all joy.
Right.
Whatever you're going through in your life, it's not by mistake, it's by design.
Right.
It's by total design. You get the point? It's by design. Pass your test.
Right.
See the temptation, see the opportunity for it for what it is, and work your discipline in what you've been trained to do. Right. You get the point? Give me the other one I asked for. 1 Corinthians, come on, you have it? You have a question? Come on.
Would the word patience always be linked with discipline?
Yes. Because the patience is waiting, right? And waiting when? When would you be waiting? Like, describe the wait to me. When it says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. He have an ear, he that have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. What's the patience?
The patience is the discipline, like we just established.
To wait on. When we can take them into captivity. Now, if you don't have patience or discipline, what will you do?
You'll go out and kill them.
That's it. You understand? It's discipline. You're losing your discipline, and you'll seek every opportunity to go out and do whatever.
Right.
Go out and, how to say, I'm gonna give some piggies some wings tonight.
Yeah.
All that trash talk.
Yeah.
Nigga, how about you run a slave plantation? That takes some discipline to work. You gotta keep counsel all them crackers being born. Who you sold last week? Who done ran off the plantation?
Right.
Who picking cotton? Who not picking?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who passed out after you beat them 5 times with the whip? So you had to stop at 3. It takes some discipline to run that plantation, huh? What's easy? To just put them out of their misery. To get some piggy some wings. Listen, I don't stop killing the slaves.
Right.
That's all I can say.
So if I may, is that why in Old English patience is long suffering? Because it's like to like the definition of endure, to have discipline, to suffer long.
No, you got to be careful with the suffer long, because the suffer long to somebody who's not trained could mean to just suffer it.
Right.
When what you have to do is go to him and him alone.
Right.
Call a counsel.
Right.
Seek counsel.
Right.
Suffering long might be you need to go apologize for that shit because you in the wrong.
Right.
That's the other side of the brotherhood. One of the brotherhood is you go into the brother and telling him his fault. Mm-hmm. There's another side where you fucked. Salakia, bro. Where you done crossed the line, you done messed up.
Right. You
know it. And you need to just go apologize ahead of it. You get the point? That it's just so don't you gotta be careful with the long suffering explanation, because that could mean just stay here and suffer this. That's not what it's talking about. Right. To endure is the discipline would be, just think discipline is doing something you don't want to do. Right. What do you not want to do? Call and talk about the bills. Who the hell want to call and tell the next man, I don't know how to manage my money? Right? The sisters, they don't want to do that. So it says, you need to stop buying shoes. That's what the hell you need to do. How much is them nails a week? $250? Just bite your nails. Just bite it. Just bite it. You feel you need to go to see Shu Young Ming? No. Nails done. That's that. You need somebody to make you do what you would not normally do for your own betterment. Right? And then you're going to start seeing the money coming. You get the point? I remember that. I ain't gonna say it too much. Somebody in he used to be in here or in here, I ain't too sure. Came about a budget, and the budget was you going to these nail people too goddamn much. Got frustrated with made a whole long biography about how the UPK wants her to look ugly and disgusting, and like, bitch, I was trying to pay goddamn bills. What are you talking about? Is that you're gonna have to get this? Nobody wants to make the call because really, why you can't pay your bills. Exactly. What you hoping when you make that call is for somebody to do what? What the Christian hoping? What the Christian hopes for when they make a call? When they pray? No. When a Christian prays, what are they hoping for?
That is not their fault.
Besides that.
I feel sorry for you.
And then do what?
Save them.
The Christian wants somebody to just do a miracle. Mm-hmm. When you call them for them bills, you want somebody to say, well, how much is the bills? Okay, here. Mm-hmm. How about you're a slave? Yeah. You paying tithes? Yeah. Anybody ever heard them things before when they call them? Mm-hmm. You paying tithes? Mm-mm. Why you not paying the tithes? All right, we'll come back to that. What bills you got? What? How much? And then you start, well, it's not that much. It's and then you start realizing where your money really going. And then somebody had to straighten you up, help you out, tell you what to do. Somebody has to teach you how to be disciplined. At first, it could seem rough. It could seem hard. It could seem harsh because you live a life so free. But, I mean, you live your life free and you see where you ended up. So why are you resisting for? Now you want to resist? Why you didn't resist before when your life was mess? Now you want to resist? No. It's different now. All right, where's the last one I want?
Come. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 19.
What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is
That's what
anything.
I wanted. 10 and 19. Hold on, I think I messed you up there. What's the last scripture called? 10 and 19.
The last one before that
was James. I think I done called the wrong one out. Hold up. 10 and 13, Salaki.
First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Read one more time.
Come. There has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Right? There's no temptation you're going to face, but the thing that's common to man. What does that mean?
The temptation that you will face, every man will face.
There's nothing new.
That's what I would say. Men before you have something the same temptation.
Oh, and they're going through it right now. Because I was like, damn, they're getting right now. Shit. Right now, cuz. Go ahead.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
He ain't going to just sit there and watch you failing.
Right.
Like you lifting something in the gym, you can't do it. You're going to hurt yourself.
Right.
You're going to intervene and being like, yo, enough. Right? Go ahead.
But will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape.
Go ahead.
That ye may be able to bear it.
That ye may be able to bear it. So now, what is the escaping of the temptation?
Discipline.
I'll take that. Anything else? Come on.
Fight.
The fight to do what?
To get more discipline.
The fight to do what?
To become strong.
The fight to do what? You're saying all these pretty words. But you have to bring it down to the mud where it's at. You have to bring it down to the mud where you lose people at. There's a point where you lose somebody in something.
The fight tonight. Quit.
You're close to it. The fight to do what you don't want to do. That's where you lose everybody with everything. Somebody wants to do this, and they should do this. They will stay to hell away from here because they want to do this. This is the fight. That's it. That's where all discipline goes out the window. What you want to do versus what you don't want to do. Unfortunately for you, brothers and sisters, what you don't want to do in this life will save your life. The hard thing that is too hard for you to do, that is just too discomforting for you to do, that's what will save your life. And you're seeking too much comfort in it, and thereby losing your discipline, which is your strength. You understand? With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shapat.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 month period, 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, and it's pronounced I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday the 14th of February and Tuesday the 15th of February, 2022. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Acquainted to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband and scarf. And with that, I say imagine, which means to stand. We'll give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yad Matah, sower, which means to turn. Sisters, Imagine, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahushua.
Yad Matah, class dismissed.